When you commission a builder to construct your home, it is an act of trust. And while most builders do the work properly, there are those who cut corners and use cheap materials, and some don't even finish the project. And as Tinnika Everard reports, that can cause both financial and emotional pressure.
$150,000 worth of defects in that house, Tony?
I don't know what to do.
This house will fall down the hill.
They're just scum.
They take your cash and leave your home in ruins. Some so defective, they need to be demolished. We're facing a bad builder epidemic. New homes, renovations, investment properties. No home is safe, no suburb untouched.
This is by far the worst we've ever seen it.
Dream home? I don't think so.
Fiona O'Hare is living in a condemned house.
The beams are all delaminating and coming apart and swelling. So eventually, within 3 years, it'll fall down by itself.
The 58-year-old purchased this Victorian property last year and was looking forward to one day retiring in it, until she discovered this new home had some dirty secrets.
We took the decking away and it opened up a whole can of worms that we didn't know were here.
Everything from the drainage.
We found there were 3,000 litres of water underneath the floor.
To the building foundations.
This is supposed to be a brick pillar. There's 3 pieces of pine holding up the majority of the house.
Fiona thought she'd picked a well-built home.
You don't expect to come into a home, a relatively new home, only 3 years old, to find that it doesn't meet the minimum standard.
She has an engineering background and says she did all the right checks.
I don't understand why a master builder would allow for this level of workmanship to get past.
The deal was for a house, and they didn't build a house, they built kind of a little shell.
Melody Williams thought building a home from scratch would mean she could make sure everything was up to par, but says her builder took her for a ride.
There was no insulation. The roof wasn't finished, which caused the plaster roof to fall in. The sliding doors stick out a couple of centimetres because they were made for brick walls, not the plaster ones. The shower floor was tiled flat so the water doesn't run away. Instead of digging at 1.2 metres, they dug at 2.1, so I'm stuck in a hole in the ground.
Melody's one of many unsatisfied Australians. Last year, New South Wales Fair Trading received around 8,800 complaints about builders, but only 20 of them were actually prosecuted. Last financial year, Consumer Affairs Victoria received nearly 40,000 complaints, but only 16 builders were prosecuted. And in Queensland, the Building Services Authority received around 5,600 complaints, and only 11 cases were prosecuted.
There's nobody willing to stand up and hold the builders responsible.
Faye Sanders has been left in limbo. She says the BSA, Queensland's Building Regulatory Authority, hasn't done enough to hold her builder accountable.
It is an absolute disgrace. You shouldn't have to fight tooth and nail over all these years to be able to try and get your house back just to in some normal condition again.